have in studio Laura Singh and Kenny David. And they're here to tell us all about some timber agreements through the EU and how we've been looking to stimulate timber trade between Guyana and the EU over the past couple of years. Good morning to you folks. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Gordon. I'm fine.
Fine. So tell us all about the timber agreement that the EU has set up with Guyana. And why would this be important to local timber companies, local persons who may be thinking of getting involved in the timber industry?
Well, Gordon, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about this timber trade agreement. It's the Guyana EU FLEGT VPA, and FLEGT is essentially Forest Law Enforcement Governance and Trade, Voluntary Partnership Agreement, VPA, and the timber trade agreement essentially looks at widening or expanding markets for the industry in Guyana, or the timber industry. So what it also will do in the process of the signing on, what we call the signing on, is it will cause Guyana to look at its systems and look at ways in which it can be enhanced.
Since Guyana now signing on to this, because I realize that this has been in place since 2003.
Yes.
So we're only now signing on.
Well, we're getting there. It's a process.
Okay.
What we've been doing is working and consulting with stakeholders, including the EU, and coming to a place of agreement on different aspects of the forest industry, different laws and legislations. And upon getting there and negotiating, so since 2012 to now, what we've been doing is a lot of consultations and negotiating with the European Union.
And I take it this is really to assist in fighting problems like illegal logging and so?
That's right.
How big of a problem would that be? How big of a problem is illegal logging in Guyana?
You know, illegal logging, again, it varies in different countries. It may not be as big a problem in Guyana as in some other parts of the world. But I think one of the other things about the FLEGT VPA is that it'll help Guyana improve its systems in terms of tracking and tracing timber. So, because, you know, different countries sign on to the FLEGT VPA for various reasons. In Guyana, it may not be as big a problem as of illegal logging, but the need to access markets, as Laura mentioned, and also to be able to improve what we do as a country in terms of, you know, tracking timber from source all the way to the market.
When you say tracking timber from source all the way to the market, to the ordinary man, what are you talking about? So timber harvested anywhere in country for the purposes of commercial use, there has to be a system in place that says when you cut that timber, that you have the right to cut that timber, that you cut on a piece of land that you were legally able to access, and once it has been cut, it is following a chain of custody. So all the steps, so wherever you are somewhere in the interior, when it comes to, let's say, Port Georgetown, we can say quite accurately where it came from and what are the steps it may have gone through, because it may have started as logs, but it may end up in Georgetown as lumber. But we also know what are the changes that may have happened to that timber along that chain all the way to Georgetown. So that's a big part of keeping track of this. And I know in the past there have been many concerns in the local timber industry about some companies having the advantage over other companies. You know, small loggers will complain so often that, you know, they're being given land where, you know, may not be the best to do their jobs and so. And then you have the problem, as you mentioned, about illegal logging. Does this sort of put everybody in like a level playing field? Explain that side of the story to us.
Absolutely. I think the problem of some persons maybe complaining about the kinds of land that they've been given, maybe a little beyond FLEGT in that sense, because one of the things we're also looking at is looking at the species that are available and being able to use those species more effectively. You know, for Guyana, the average man knows about green heart and purple heart, but there's so much more that is available in our forests that can be used. But what FLEGT does, as you correctly said, is that because it sets a standard across the board for everybody, that the EU market becomes available and open to everybody. So the small man as well as the larger producers can access that market because all the produce is meeting the same standard.
Yeah. But on to that too,
under this agreement or this trade agreement, what would be done to ensure that their persons are continuing on with their timber production or timber mining with the environment in mind? Because the European market is huge as it is, and you might have persons cutting down trees in areas that they should not be cutting down trees. So what then is going to be done to monitor those areas? And is that part of the agreement that you, as part of the agreement, as part of this trade agreement, that you also do your operations in a sustainable manner?
Absolutely. I think that's a good question, Gordon. You know, one of the things that we'd like listeners to understand as well is that while the agreement itself is new, Guyana has been involved in tracking and tracing timber and ensuring its legality for many years. For many years now, and so which is why I mentioned at the start that one of the things that FLEGT will do is allow us to improve that monitoring, because I think the point you mentioned is quite really where the market opens up, and then there is now this big drive to be able to tap into that market. But yes, FLEGT will, as we will refer to as FLEGT will in fact ensure that we are improving our systems, we are monitoring, and as part of that agreement, there are certain things that are built into the agreement to ensure that it's environmentally sound, it's socially sound as well. So it's not just about legality, as in it came from a valid source, but also that the environment is being protected, it's being sustainably harvested in the process as well.
Yeah, and then the lead up to this, Laura, in terms of consultation, you spoke about consultations, and so how did that process go for you?
It went very well, and as the years progressed into the negotiations, what we've noticed is that many more people are informed based on when we go out and our registers can tell us, the numbers tell us. Also, we pay a lot of emphasis on gender, participation. So over the years, we have found that there are more people who have joined the conversation, who have shown an interest, as well as who are making that effort to comply with the regulations of the Guyana Forestry Commission and to do their business in that way that would ensure that everything is in order.
And of course, this falls under to like the Voluntary Partnership Agreement.
Correct.
Okay, so let's you sign on. How does that benefit Guyana though? Or what do we get out of it? Because that is always a concern. We sign on these fancy agreements, and then we expect to get a lot of stuff out of it, but sometimes you don't. So what's in it for Guyana?
By signing on and in the process, what it does, the conversation, it creates a platform for different stakeholders to air their, to give their views and their issues. In fact, the National Technical Working Group, a committee that steers this process, their decisions are informed by the consulting with stakeholders and the feedback we get. So it is based on that and legislation that we make decisions after discussing it and so on. It also ensures better forest governance in the sector and ensure accountability and transparency, which is very important in this process in any business environment, as a matter of fact. It also clarifies roles within agencies. As you know, a lot of times in many countries, including Guyana, we find that government agencies who are a part of the process, that communication is not there are gaps. So this conversation or this initiative has led us to become more involved in developed a closer collaboration with agencies such as the GRA, the NIS, EPA, and a number of others. So now, in terms of getting documentation and everybody understanding what is their role, it's much clearer. And we've been having a very good discussion and good cooperation and collaboration with these agencies. They're very excited about it and in delivering their mandate as well.
And they all understand how important it is.
Absolutely.
Because that's something else, especially when you go into certain areas, to ensure persons are really briefed on it, especially if it's like a family business.
Yes.
And so they continue doing things. They continue doing things the old way.
So they meet all their fiscal commitments in terms of their GRA payments and so on. Their social commitments, such as the NIS, ensuring that their employees are protected, and also complying with the environmental rules and laws, so that EPA is so much a part of this conversation. I'd also like to put a lot of emphasis on the part of capacity building and training in the sector. There is so much opportunity. We've had project proposals that were sent out, and many community groups as well as government agencies, the Forest Products Association, they've successfully gotten projects, won projects which they implement, and these projects are geared towards capacity building. Informing stakeholders as to their rights, what it is they need to do, and the conversation just gets richer, and of course skill building.
Definitely, something good there. So thanks a lot for coming by this morning and bringing us up to date.
You're welcome, Gordon.
Thank you so much.